All right, YouTube. Welcome back to Hodge Garage. Thank you guys for tuning in again. And I did a YouTube short on this, but we've got this Ford Ranger back here, and we're going to be doing ball joints. I've got it up on jack stands on both sides, so we can go ahead and get to work. This is going to be kind of a couple day video because I'm still waiting on parts. I have upper control arms, but I do not have the lower ball joints. So we're doing all 4 ball joints on the truck, and starting essentially with the I guess the upper sort of tonight, because that's what came in first. But we're just gonna kind of start disassembly on this side, and I've got to wait till evening time because it's, I don't know, heat index today was like 105 or something in southern Indiana, and there's all these crazy corn flies. There you go. Probably because of the corn across the road, I'm guessing. I don't know. It's Indiana. There's corn everywhere, right? But they're everywhere, and they've been swarming me anytime I come outside in the afternoon. But I think we get a little bit of shade, kind of back off. So we're going to get started on this here in a second and dive into it basically with disassembly tonight. We're going to start on the driver's side, and we're just going to do the driver's side for the video, but the other side will also be basically the same. There are 2 different types of control arms for this truck, and I got this camera reversed so I can kind of see what you all see. One thing to note here, if you are working on this particular truck, the 03 XLT, it comes with 2 different suspension packages. So there's a torsion bar, and then there's the coil springs. So this is the coil spring setup, as you can see back here. Yeah, something to note whenever you're purchasing your parts for this truck. There are 2 different versions. Clearly, we can see the owner of the truck, basically, his friend from church, he was telling me, I need ball joints done. There's your culprit right there. This is the one. I would say it's bad. I haven't put a pry bar on it or anything like that to check it. But I talking to him, he's like, go ahead and replace all of them. I said, great. Okay, that's what we'll do. So, like I said, got those on order. It's taking a few days to get in. But we're going to get started on this and get it going. Evening time is definitely the best time this time of year to be working on this stuff. Also, small update on the new location of the Hodge Garage, which will be a pole barn that I'm building. We're actually in the driveway cut in today. There's the Bobcat for the guy who's doing this for me. And yeah, this is going to be great when it's all said and done. So I'm super looking forward to hosting videos and filming videos over there once that gets done. But we're still a little ways away. So let's get into this job. Okay, so YouTube, here we go into the belly of the beast. So for this job, like I said, we're doing upper control arms, and then our lower ball joints, which we'll see in detail here in a minute, are all the way down there. So something to note, if you're just doing your upper control arm and ball joint, okay, number one, if this is a factory upper control arm, these are not, like, you have to replace the whole control arm to do this upper ball joint, okay? If that is the case, you could technically forego any of these further steps that I'm going to do. I'm going to take brakes off. We got to take rotor off, all of this stuff. You technically could do the whole job, and my camera zoomed in. You could do the whole job without doing a lot of these other steps. If it's just upper control arms, okay, all you need to do is remove the upper, like this part right here. So this is a 15 mil nut, bolt. Loosen that up. You might need to loosen that up a little bit, knock this out, and this will come up, and then you've got 21s up here at the 21 millimeters up here, and you're pretty much good to go. Okay, put the new one in and you're done. If you're doing the lower, however, the only thing that's going to change, let's just say it's just the lowers, you don't need to completely remove the upper control arm. You have to unhook it, okay, because we have to be able to access it, which it's down here. Okay, so you need to be able to access that. So for what we're going to do with all the ball joints, or all 2 of them on this side, 4 of them all together, is we're just going to go ahead and take this thing apart just like we're doing lowers, and then we'll replace the uppers as we go. So tonight, as I'm kind of running out of daylight, so to speak, we're just going to go ahead now and we're going to start taking this apart. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to go ahead and remove the upper control arm and replace it in this segment of the video, but of course I'll show you that whenever I get to it. But for starters, we're going to go ahead and remove our caliper, and that's two 15mm bolts. Something to note on this, okay, I think, you know, disclaimer wise, this is for entertainment purposes only. And so I will tell you that the upper bolt is behind here for the caliper, and the lower one is down here where you see my ratchet on it. I used a cheater bar to get those loose. I don't know that this has ever been removed before. I have no idea. I have no history with this truck, so I couldn't tell you. But it does kind of look like this has been knocked out at some point. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to move that. Like I said, two 15mm. And then we're going to take this and we're going to hang it up around here. Get it up out of the way. I don't see anything else really sturdy enough to hang it on. But we'll figure that out here in a second. Alright, so anytime I run into something, I kind of think it's a good thing to explain here, show. Alright, so you can see we've got our brake caliper. There's no tension on that brake line. We've got it basically hung up here on that support. Just double check it. Yep, should good to go. On this, all right, this thing is like crazy rusted on there. So basically, to get it off there, which by the way, I have soaked these in penetrating oil, so strongly recommend that as well, especially on something that may has never been replaced. Okay, but break it loose like that, and then you can get another wrench on the other side. That makes it a little bit easier, but that's the step we're on right now. We're gonna go ahead and unhook this ball joint from our upper control arm and go from there. Okay, so we've got that little bolt out. Some of these kits I did notice whenever I was ordering them do come with replacement bolts, but I didn't see any in the box for this one, but we'll find out later. So a couple things here. Okay, so one thing we want to do is we want to get something in here, pry bar, whatever you got, big screwdriver. Kind of give that a little bit of I don't know, opening up, whatever you want to call it there, because we want to make sure that this comes out. And technically there's really two different ways you could do this next step. One thing you can do, whoa, sorry about that folks, one thing you can do here is you can stick a pickle fork in here and you can pop it up. I've got one over here. So if you hear me say pickle fork, what do I mean by that? That's pickle fork. So I also have this ball joint press kit, which we're not going to use that just yet. That's for the bottoms. But that's our pickle fork. If we want to use that. The other method, if you get this good and loose, is you can hit this up with a large hammer and sledge, whatever, and it should pop it out of here. Now, a couple things on this. You want to make sure that you tie this off to something so that it doesn't basically come falling forward on you. You can use bungee cords or whatever you got.
You need any water?
We still have to get this tie rod off as well. But right now we're going to go ahead and pop this off. We also got to unhook this ABS line. So we'll get to that also. Alright, so we whacked this thing out of there. Actually didn't even use the pickle fork. Seemed pretty loose, so all I did is took the cheater bar, banged on it until I got to a point, and then pried underneath, popped it out. So good deal there. I got this tied off so it doesn't go loose. Also unhooked the ABS line. That goes to this little connection here. It's a push fitting. Pop it out. Then go through. We'll get these out here in a second. I don't think you guys need to see me remove trim fasteners. But we're going to remove it from those trim fasteners. Well, they're actually like these lockable ones, so we'll pop those off or pop them open. And then we're going to move down here to our tie rod. Okay, and we'll figure out what size that is next. All right, so we're taking the tie rod off now. There's a cotter pin underneath. You guys have probably seen this done before, but if I can get a good angle here, I want to get down here so you guys can see it. I've got a And I'll put that on there, but right here, cotter pin, there it is. Cotter pin. Try to take this off with an adjustable wrench. Just get it knocked loose, but it's on there, so impact time. And yeah, we'll get that removed. And then basically we're going to knock on this knuckle right here with a hammer, and this will come out. Okay, so we've got the tie rod off. And man, this thing's really rusted up, but it's all good. Got that off. And just checking that out for a second. I went and put this back in, just kind of make it a little bit easier. But now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this a little bit differently than some of the other things I've seen. But I'm going to go ahead and remove this lower ball joint bolt all the way at the bottom. I want to take that off and remove this whole thing together. This is not a four-wheel drive, okay? There's no CV axle coming through here, or front axle or whatever. So we're going to go ahead and remove this. Bearings seem really nice in this. We're going to go ahead and remove this whole assembly, and then we'll put it on kind of reverse order what we just did. Alright, so yeah, sorry YouTube, I got a little ahead of myself without videotaping and ended up with that off. But I'll go back through it real fast. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. If you're doing this job, you probably have some idea of what you're, I mean, you know some tools and stuff, alright? I don't expect anybody to be a certified mechanic, but this is the bottom of this. You can see this tapered end here of our ball joint fits down through here, down inside of there. I got some grease on me. Oh, it's very uncomfortable down here. What I did, once I got the tie rod off, let me zoom out, basically took my pickle fork. This is a pretty cool kit I got on Amazon. If you watched my stuff before, you may start to figure out that I buy a lot of stuff on Amazon. Anyway, basically jammed it underneath here, gave it a couple hits, and pop. This came off. Had it supported with these, which worked okay. Probably could have worked a little bit better, but when it fell, it did kind of bend this little dust cover. I'm gonna bend that back out again, but no big deal there. But that's it. Tomorrow, because it's getting late, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the lower ball joint removal. The new lower ball joints will be in tomorrow, and then we'll do the upper control arm, which are currently in, but we're kind of running out of light, and it's like 8 something at night, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. But I consider this pretty good first day of, or first evening of wrenching. Yeah, so we will pick up maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday. I'm not quite sure yet. Kind of depends on what's going on this weekend, but we'll pick back up and keep on chugging. Okay, so catch you up here on this part. We're going to take this grease zerk, goes in there, take that out. Then we have a snap ring that sits on top of this. Now, if you have some snap ring pliers like I do, this makes it a whole lot easier. It goes down in that little groove there, squeeze the handle, comes apart. Yeah, like that. So, pry that up, off, there we go. All right, so that's off. Now we're ready to press it out. And for that, we actually have I gotta find the right one. But basically, set this up. We got a ball joint press. We've got the kit over there on the ground. Just gotta find the right adapters, and we'll hook this up, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a sec. Okay, so we've got our removal tool, removal / installer tool on here. I pulled out the book because it's brand new to me, so I wanted to make sure that I got all the right setup and everything, and this is what it calls for. So essentially, to explain, I guess, how this thing works, this is pressed in here, okay, the ball joint itself. All right, so we take this piece, it goes on top of it. This screw piece here, you can see it's threaded and it's got this guy up top. Tighten that up. As it tightens it, it will drive that ball joint down into what they call the receiver tube. Okay. Now, in the book, it does show it kind of a little bit backwards. So I kind of had to play around with it a little bit. But on this one, this is how this tool is supposed to be set up. There's a hole on the bottom down here where actually the threaded part of the ball joint comes down through this opening. And you just have to make sure you have the right size adapters because you have enough room for it to drop down inside of there. So next step is, and I'm not going to do this with the camera on, is to tighten this until it eventually presses the ball joint down and out. Alright, so that's out. That's super nifty little tool. Here's the old one. Got the new one. This one does not have a boot left on it. I don't know if it was originally designed to have a boot. It's got that little guy there. This one looks nice and new. Got that new ball joint smell. Comes with the new snap ring and cotter pin for our castle nut down here on the bottom. And the inside of this, I'm going to take a little wire brush, clean that up a little bit. And then we will be on to install, where we use our ball joint tool, I guess you could say in reverse order, which we'll get to here in a minute. This one also doesn't come with a grease fitting on it, but it's the right one for the truck, according to Rock Auto. So we will set this up real fast, and then we'll pick up the video once we've got it set up. Alright, so we've got this on here, and this is how we're going to press it back up inside. Unfortunately, I cannot get a socket underneath this, but I'll tell you this much: if you've got a lift at home, boy, this would be perfect. I do not have a lift. I have a jack in my driveway. This is the Hodge Garage. We're not that fancy just yet. So, anyway, maybe if I get 1 million subscribers, then yeah, 100% we'll have I'll install a jack out here in the driveway if we get 1 million subscribers. So, anyway, we're on this thing with a wrench. I may actually switch from adjustable to just a regular old wrench. And we're just going to keep tightening this, and it's going to basically drive this screw and push that ball joint back up where it belongs. This little adapter on top is wider than the hole. Basically, the ball joint can fit up inside of that cup, and yeah, we just keep cranking on it until it's flush. So I don't think anybody needs to see any of that stuff. So I'm gonna get right back to it. All right, so new one's installed. Yeah, if you got a lift and power tools that you can zip that press with, I would highly recommend it. Being on my knees this long and cranking on that guy was not fun. But it's in there, it's seated, new snap rings on, and now we move to our upper control arm. So hopefully you haven't waited this long just to see that part, because this is the easy part. Basically, we are going to remove a 21mm there and a 21mm there, and there should be, yes, back inside of here are some camber pieces. You just need to make sure you retain those and that you install them the exact way that they came out. Okay, so that should be pretty straightforward, and we'll go ahead and get started on that. I've got my 21mm. This seems like the easy side. I don't know, but I'm thinking this plastic may need to come off so I can reach that one. Looks like the brake line should be out of the way, but the plastic might be an issue. We'll see here in a minute. Okay, you got a bolt side over here. Let's see if I can just break it loose as is and then get a wrench on the other side while I zip this off. So that's basically it there. It's just removing bolts, so not anything overly complicated. All right, so I reckon this may be my last portion of the video, because these things came out way simpler than I thought they would. But you can see our old one here and new one there. Replacing it with a Delphi upper control arm. Really good reviews from what I could tell, all that good stuff. So, but important note here, there's a front left and a front right. Okay, even on this old one from the factory, it's got an L on it, meaning it's the driver's side or the left side of the vehicle. Our new one also has an L on it. The part numbers, like on the shipping, also indicated that there was, told you which one was which, part number wise. So when you go to install this, just make sure that you're actually doing the correct one. Otherwise, yeah, you'll be doing the job again. Nobody wants that. Also, I just pulled them out, set it down, just to triple check to make sure that these are identical, and they are. You can see some little differences here between Motorcraft or whatever and Delphi. So all we're going to do is, I did not have to take that part off, but you're going to get it in here and you're going to wedge it in best you can. So, moving around here, we're going to line it up. Hey, shout out to Ford engineers. Said no one ever, but I'm going to say it now. Look at this. They put that little catch on here so that as you turn it, it hits on this bracket up here and it allows you to not have to put a wrench on that. Thank you, Ford. You guys did good. All right. Our camber plates are still in here, so kept them exactly the way it was removed. It's just a little plate back inside of here. We're just gonna basically run our bolts through. It's gonna take a little bit of jiggling and wiggling, and we'll get it in there, no problem. And yeah, look how nice that looks. A new lower ball joint, upper control arm with ball joint. I don't know if these are actually replaceable upper ball joints on these or not. Not sure about that one. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get this zipped up real fast, and then we'll conclude the video. Alright, so that will conclude our video, and we can see that we've got a lot done. Alright, so that's good. We're going to go ahead and button it up. This probably wasn't my best video. It's super hard to focus when it's 105 degrees outside. So I apologize to you guys who tune in for better quality, but yeah, if you have questions, please shoot a comment, whatever. But you can see this is how it's done on driver's side. It's the same thing on the other side. Just make sure that you go get yourself a ball joint press. That was super useful. You don't have to buy one. You can rent these from AutoZone, Advance, O'Reilly's, whoever. Okay, so yeah, make sure you have one, because otherwise you could probably redneck this, but considering you can rent tools for free, it's probably your best bet. This one, if you're interested and you want to go on to Amazon, this is the OMT kit that I was using today, and yeah, I'd give it 5 stars. I think it did a great job on some rusty old ball joints. It was about 50 bucks, so if you want to get your own kit like I did, this is a $50 kit. You can go all the way up to $100 if you want to, but this works for us on what the Hodge Garage typically sees out of vehicles. So thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, check out some of the other videos. Like and subscribe. Literally hitting the subscription button is free, and I really appreciate it. I will try to answer any questions within 24 hours usually, if there's a question. Otherwise, we'll catch you later on the next fix here at the Hodge Garage.